Hello and welcome back to this sixth coaching session I had with Chilli. And in this session, we were reviewing my own games. I think it's very interesting. I selected a part and which I'm going to share with you. Have fun with it. If you like, please give video a like, comment, or subscribe. That would be really be appreciated. And also don't forget to check out Chili's accounts. You can his YouTube channel. I mean, you can find the info in the description. Have fun with the video, and here we go.
Take a look at that. Okay,
It's very interesting.
so let's look at this one first, and then we'll get to that. So this was a game in a Tarrasch defense, and there is a lot to be said about this game. So knight f3 is what we play. This is all stand e6 castles, and then h6 is already a big mistake. And you can't really call it a mistake because the edge that it gives white is not huge, but it is enough to make the position almost unbearable for black.
Okay.
And the reason why is because it's such an important tempo that you're wasting in this position, and you really cannot afford to waste the tempo in this position. In the Tarrasch defense, the line that we play is exactly what you play, which is this, and then they've moved the bishop once. Well, you're gonna have to move the bishop again. And not only do you move the bishop twice, but you have also created an isolated pawn here, which is something that black really can't undo. If you play the Tarrasch defense in this line, you're gonna have to deal with this. This is the nature of the position. And the thing here for black is you've wasted, you could say 2 tempi, and with this 3 tempi. So this is really bad because in the line I recommend to you, they will have to waste a 4th tempi, which is because of a3. So in the game you played b3 with the idea of playing bishop e2, and the idea is to play bishop b2, but we're going to go a bit more aggressive and play a3 into b4.
Yeah.
And this is the idea basically. So we gain another tempo on the bishop. Plus, we may have ideas of pushing to b5, dislodging the knight, maybe knight e5 ideas can come in. This is something I don't really do. I don't really play b5. I don't get the chance, but maybe it happens in your games. Sorry about that. So castles, b4. And notice that the best square for the bishop is b6, but this isn't the best square, you could say. The best square would be if they would be able to get their bishop to a7 to keep the bishop permanently on the diagonal. Because now at some point we could play knight a4 and we can kick the bishop away. They'd be forced to go back to c7, let's say. And this isn't really where the bishop belongs in these positions. The bishop likes to scope down this and hit both these things. So this is why the tempo that they've wasted was so important. Here when they play h6, let's say if they don't play h6, they will have time in this position to play either a6 or a5. Now, a6 is more common. It's the more played move, and the idea is simply to bring the bishop back to a7.
Yeah.
However, you could also contemplate a5, and with a5 you're completely stopping the b4 move. But we've got ways of dealing with this, and I'll show you that. But let's look at a6 first, b4, bishop a7, and from here the position is completely the same. Bishop e2 will come, and they'll have lots of troubles pushing this pawn. You'll see if they push this pawn at any point, it will get extremely weak because we just have so many pieces controlling this square. So this is something that's really not allowed for black, and we don't even need to rush to blockade this, you'll see. So maybe playing e3 in these positions is a bit premature because there's really no need at this point, and it can, in these positions, be more of a weakness than a strength. And what I mean by this is if you play e3 at some point, suddenly these squares get a bit weak and maybe ideas of bishop g4 come in. and this can be quite annoying
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
yeah,
So
it looks
this is
annoying.
something to consider when playing these positions.
And
You don't want to allow them to get a clamp on these squares.
and maybe I also allow them to trade off their weakness if I play e3 because they have
Pardon?
maybe they have a hook. If I play e3 as well, they can trade it off.
It's
That
very difficult.
yeah,
Very difficult to push this because what will happen at most points, well, of course, we're not going to play e3 now, but in the future, it will be possible to play e3. And then if they push, we'll take, but we'll have an isolated pawn, but we'll technically be a pawn up.
that's true. Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's not
Yeah,
that bad. We do still hold on to material for a bit longer. And at any point, we can choose to give up the pawn, like very Capablanca-esque, and just push the
yeah,
pawn and make them waste the tempo to capture it. And once they do that, we've got some attacks possibly.
yeah,
So that's also an
yeah.
idea.
Now you mention
Now,
you mention him. I was thinking about Capablanca when I played this game, and
good.
I spent so much time right after the opening when I still had my pawns on a2 and b2, or a3. Sorry. Yes, here I spent so much time to find a what was the best configuration for me to develop my pieces in such a way that also controls the d4 square, and
Very nice.
I couldn't really figure it out. And I was especially thinking about ways where I can just keep the pawns here. I'm not sure why, but I just wanted to try it out if I can find something where I keep this together for some reason. And
Got it.
I think I spent 5 minutes too much, and then I didn't. I don't know what I ended up playing. Oh yeah, I ended up playing here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is completely understandable because in many positions, like you're very familiar with e4, e5. So,
yeah,
with that being said, there are many positions in like the Ruy Lopez where if you play this and this, they may play a5 and this can be very annoying. So this is a theme, but not in this position. This is a very different position. And but okay, let's say we play a3 and they play. Oh, sorry, let's go back to that position where they haven't wasted the tempo of h. So let's say they play a5 here to stop our b4 push. Now this isn't really a problem because our plan has changed and shifted into something very different. And that will be the move bishop g5. The idea of bishop g5 is to immediately undermine this pawn, now that the knight can't participate in the defense. So bishop g5, the main move
Mm.
is
Oh, your audio
bishop takes, queen
is
takes.
cutting out a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
So bishop g5, the main move is to push because the pawn gets very weak. And then from here, we're going to play takes, and then knight e4. The idea being we're hitting both these pieces and we will regain the bishop pair. So we would not do this if we weren't guaranteed the bishop in exchange. So queen e7 because it's a lot better to lose a bishop than a queen.
Yes.
Takes. And notice how much this queen has shifted around. This, and it's going to shift around even more after rook c1.
Yeah.
And I've actually played the game in this position, which was the first time I've played this position. This is my second ever FIDE rated game.
Cool.
So knight f3, knight f6. We get the exact same position here, as you'll see. And then he plays a5. And from here, I didn't know what to do. So I came up with this plan by myself. So you can tell that it's really intuitive to play these lines. And bishop g7, bishop g5. Let's say he doesn't want to push. Maybe he can try something like bishop e7. But anyways, we're gonna play take and win a pawn here.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be tremendous for him.
Well, he is going
You
to.
do get.
He's going to win
Yep.
b2 in the end, right? Or not?
b2, like take and take.
No, they win the b2 pawn. Yes. Or not?
Let's say they do this. Who do you think this benefits?
Yeah, it looks pretty good for us. Yeah, our pieces are getting very active.
Very active.
Yeah.
We've got rook a2, even, just hold on to this pawn. And the main feature of these positions is generally it becomes really hard for this bishop to develop
Yeah.
and find a good square. And if this bishop ever does move, this pawn is very, very weak. So this is a common theme throughout many openings in the reti, where the bishop just can't find a good way to develop, and it's going to be a very big pain for them to find a good square. So this is a feature. So I wouldn't be worried about this too much. Plus, we're equal because we traded off their center pawn for our b pawn. And if we can win a center pawn for a flank pawn, that's also really good.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't trade, for example, an a pawn for a g pawn. That wouldn't make much sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So bishop e6 is a way to kind of play for some form of initiative and counterplay. But queen b5, and again, it's that point highlighted where it becomes really hard for them to defend both this and find a good square for this. Even if you take queen c7, it's not good enough because knight g5, and you're already adding a lot of pressure to the position.
Yeah.
Let's say bishop d7, queen d3, threatening mate. And this is really the theme of the game I played, which is there's going to be no pieces defending this king, and we can force them to make pawn moves which they don't want to play. So in this game, they did play d4. I found this line. Taken here. And in this position, instead of playing queen d2, which is the top engine move, I played queen c2. And you'll see that now after bishop g4, which is an imprecision, it's an imprecision because we get to play knight g5. And we're immediately threatening mates, which means they need to make some form of pawn push. And this really isn't pleasant for them. So g6, and here already I lost a significant part of my advantage by playing queen e4. However, it's not a bad move per se, because it still is a move that maintains initiative and is aggressive. The better move would be to play knight e4, and you're threatening this immediately.
Yeah.
I saw this. What I didn't see was a response to bishop f5. Apparently the engine wants knight f6, which I saw. This, and what I missed was knight d5. Now we're hitting their queen, they're hitting our queen,
Yeah,
and
nice. Yeah.
they move back, then queen d3. And this was something I missed. I didn't see this maneuver here, the queen. So
it's tough to find, or
this was good enough, I'd say. Yeah. So notice you can't play this because this becomes very weak now. So you have to move the bishop. Bishop f5, and my idea was queen h4. We are now threatening mate again, which makes them push again. Yeah. And I was like, okay, now I'm really feeling happy about this position. Now I'm really happy because he's just making too many compromising pawn pushes in the beginning. So I kind of got carried away here, and I say, you know what, I'm going to play this in a very Kasparov-esque way, and maybe my main idea here will be to take advantage of this H-file, which can open up like this. This was a mistake, however. But it was a mistake because I didn't take the... Yeah, okay, so it gets kind of crazy here. Here, he kind of hung a pawn. This was a very interesting move, kind of clamping down on this. And maybe this would be an idea, maybe this is an idea, maybe this an idea. So it's what I played for. So he stops that. I take this free pawn. And we didn't need to get into the details, but yeah, here I had a really good move, which was queen c5, and you have to play this move. You can't take, because if you do, then I take, and this is very nice.
Oh, wow, it looks so complicated. Unbelievable.
It was complicated, yeah.
Yeah.
And I missed it, and I just went queen back for some reason, and this was kind of like me turning my brain off because I just completely forgot my knight was here. So
yeah,
yeah,
that happens. Yeah.
However, we fight on, and I did manage to equalize the position. However, what happened is he managed to take control of the H file before I did, and really I needed to play for this H file since I'm gonna play like this, and this was me getting punished for not doing so. However, the position was very good, and you'll see how he makes good use of this H file. So it can be a gift and a curse, right? Because since both files are open, it's a matter of who can dominate it first. It was definitely my game. I could dominate it faster than he could, but it didn't work out like that. So, but it was a very strong position. Is the point I'm trying to show you. Next game.
Well, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope I will see you back next time. Goodbye.